Virgil's Aeneid is the classical epic poem in which the Greek notion of heroism was reconfigured to form a new Roman archetype. This epic, written by the poet Virgil, tells the story of Aeneas, a Trojan hero who travels to Italy and becomes the ancestor of the Romans. The Aeneid is not just a tale of adventure, but also a work that reflects the values and aspirations of Roman society. Through its verses, the Aeneid explores themes of duty, piety, and destiny, making it a cornerstone of Roman literature and culture. The whole reason we have the Aeneid today is that Virgil, who lived from 70 to 19 BCE, was commissioned by Augustus Caesar to write the great national Roman epic poem. So, in a typically Roman adopt-adapt move, Virgil modeled his work closely on Homer's, linking Roman history with Greek history by having the founder of Rome turn out to be one Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Yet whereas Greek heroes were always driven by individual motivations, like Achilles' anger, Hector's belief in honor, or Odysseus's quest for home, Aeneas represented a new kind of hero. Aeneas was driven by duty to his people and the gods, embodying the Roman virtues of piety and destiny. His journey was not just personal but foundational for the future of Rome. Thus, the poet presented the prototypical great Roman, one whose crowning glory was pietas, the Roman conformist outlook of devoted respect for gods, fatherland, parents, then kinsmen. This ideal encapsulated the virtues of duty, loyalty, and honor, forming the bedrock of Roman society and its enduring legacy. These values were not just personal, but were woven into the very fabric of Roman law, culture, and governance, ensuring the strength and unity of the empire. Juno, or the god Hera to the Greeks, who still hated the Trojans, sent a storm which landed Aeneas' ships at Carthage in North Africa, where he met and fell in love with Queen Dido. At an opulent banquet hosted for the Trojan refugees, Aeneas told Dido the story of their wanderings in flashback, exactly as Odysseus had done for the Phaeacians in the Odyssey. That narrative revealed, tragically yet magnificently, for the first time in literature, the fall of Troy from the losing side's perspective. It also foreshadowed the transformation of heroism. For although Aeneas tried to die along with his city, as any Greek hero would, he was stopped by signs from Jupiter and Venus, who also signaled his new mission. Live to found a Western Troy. So by evacuating the city carrying his old father, leading his wife and child, hauling household gods, and even collecting refugees outside the walls, Aeneas for the first time honored every aspect of pietas. Manipulated by Juno and Venus into becoming lovers, Aeneas and Dido spent one happy winter together in Carthage, one of the few scenes in the whole poem in which the hero seemed happy. But when spring came, Jupiter, the Greek Zeus, himself commanded that Aeneas get on with fulfilling his destiny, which reluctantly he did. Abandoned and bitter, Dido suicided, using fire. Just as in the Odyssey, the hero visited Hades and met old friends, Aeneas also visited the underworld, and there saw Dido's shade, which spurned him for leaving her while she was alive. These events defined Dido as a typically Greek-style heroine who lived, died, and acted according to her own nature, and Aeneas, in contrast, as a Roman-type hero who was all about duty. In Book 4 of the poem, Virgil raised challenging questions about Roman destiny, such as why did it require the destruction of so many innocent and decent people? Did Dido deserve her fate? Yet through Aeneas's visions, Virgil also outlined the future greatness of Rome, its gift to the world: security, peace, and prosperity, albeit achieved through military might and rule of law. Thus he implied that Aeneas's surrender of personal happiness in favor of duty and destiny was justified, and though the cost was terrible all round, these sacrifices led to a wondrous world. The final books of the Aeneid were modelled on the Iliad, just as the first 6 had cloned the Odyssey. Aeneas was forced to fight a new Trojan war, not over Helen, but for Lavinia. This too was a fate imposed by the gods, for by winning Lavinia away from the warrior Turnus, Aeneas could then marry her and fulfill his destiny, start a race blending Trojan and Latin blood. Virgil's narrative poetically contrasted Turnus, another Greek-style hero rich in personal motives, with Aeneas, now the embodiment of pietas, fighting for duty, destiny, and Rome. Just as in the Iliad, where Hector killing Patroclus triggered the ultimate duel between Hector and Achilles, the slaying of Pallas precipitated the climactic fight between Turnus and Aeneas. When the wounded Turnus conceded defeat and pleaded for mercy, Aeneas paused, then killed him. A debate persists to this day. Was that yet more pietas, or a final defiant act of Greek-style passion? Though labelled a mere state propagandist by some, Virgil undeniably posed the moral dilemma of any empire's greatness through his characters, and specifically the human price of Rome's achievements. He portrayed sad, empty deaths of admirable young men in a basically unnecessary war, and made Dido and Turnus more attractive and sympathetic characters in his epic than its titular hero Aeneas. By showing all future Roman heroes that Aeneas met in Hades as soldiers, Virgil also flagged the Roman Empire's unprecedented era of peace and prosperity as a utopia achieved mainly by brute force. Ironically, the Christian and particularly Crusader traditions of the West would later find this distinctly Roman model of a hero, one willing to sacrifice everything for a cause, both attractive and politically useful. Can any epic hero be both a mighty warrior and a truly spiritual man? To find the answer to that and other pressing cosmic questions, steer your battle chariot to our profound Episode 7.